So, nice meeting you today.
Yes.
You were just talking a little bit about what you do with Solid. Can you tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about what is Solid and what do you do?
Well, Solid Outreach has been a long-standing organization in Victoria.
Mhm,
Um, Years before I was involved with them, they've been
mhm,
advocating, and they now are, to bring you up to date, our society, British Columbia Solid Support
mhm,
Society, BC3S, um, we basically work hand in hand with Solid at their outreach center.
mhm.
We have a harm reduction
And
kiosk.
where is the outreach center?
It's in Victoria.
In Victoria. Mhm,
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, we work hand in hand with Solid. It's a program that was started by a guy named Jack Phillips and
mhm,
Mark Wilson,
mhm,
and I came over there about 2.5 years ago to get involved. And basically, the program that, from our standpoint, is we advocate for the use of cannabis as a harm reduction tool
mhm,
for however people want to use it. We advocate for the classism of the
mhm,
marijuana system, how it is that everybody should be able to access that. We're advocating for a licensing system so we
mhm,
can produce cannabis and give it away legally.
mhm. And you use the word cannabis substitution. What is it substituting? Could you
We're
explain that?
hoping it would substitute for other illicit drugs and harder drugs that people are using, or
Mhm,
even people who are hardcore drinkers and stuff like that. We find, even in my own personal journey, cannabis really helped me get through my addiction and getting through all that, and continues to. And
So cannabis can substitute for harder drugs.
well, yes, I mean, it's, if you're addicted to something harder, I mean, it's a long journey.
Mhm.
I think of it as an aid to
Mm.
get you there. Um, that's, everybody's different. Cannabis works differently for everybody, but the things like CBD products that we produce
Mhm.
are super helpful, that I've heard from the
Mhm.
members when they're sick, when they're dope sick and everything.
Mhm.
That's something that really helps them. It staves it off for a while for them. And like they said, the drinkers, like the managed alcohol programs that were there, they seem to be the ones that really
Mm.
reacted well to it. But yeah, that's basically what we do. We hand out 500 doses a day and 500 or in a couple hundred gummies a day, and at a cost to our program, just to
So in Victoria, in Solid, how does the dispensing work? How does that? Could you kind of draw a picture of how that works?
basically, you have to be a member.
Mhm,
You have to sign you have to meet the requirements.
mhm,
Um, so once you're a member, you can come in, you can access your free dose a day,
mhm,
and then basically we also cost recover a little bit. So if that joint isn't enough for someone, they can donate. They can donate $3 a gram.
Ah,
Basically, is our donation asking. But if somebody comes to the desk and is in crisis, or they can have more. Like
mhm,
that's what we do. We're not trying to profit off cannabis at all.
sure,
We're trying to advocate for that part,
sure.
and we think. And then the offshoot of this whole thing has been, we're finding a lot of seniors have actually started accessing our program because they're on fixed incomes, and a lot of them actually are suffering from addiction as well
Mhm,
because of the pharmaceutical system that
mhm.
they're involved in. So that's been actually a nice offshoot that we never anticipated. So that's in a nutshell. That's kind of what we're trying to
Oh,
do.
great.
Yeah.
And for today, we're having this meeting, a group of groups meeting.
Yes.
What's your thoughts or your wishes or aspirations for the meeting? Do you have anything you're coming in? That,
I'd love to see the groups all start working together and communicating together more constructively. It'd be nice to have a unified voice, I find, because everybody's doing this hard work, and I, I'm only about 3 years into this journey,
Mhm,
but from what I've seen, and I go around and visit all groups all over the province, is that it's the drug user groups that are actually doing the on the ground work. and are actually making a change, and they're the ones receiving the least amount of funding for the work they're doing. And it seems like everybody else above releasing the funding they're making good wages, and I'd like to see that trickle down to the groups who are actually doing the work. Give them the fund, because we got our first grant in 3 years, I think, for $20,000, and that, other than that, we've been self-funded, and it's been a tough go. But I mean,
self-funding means what?
That's
for example.
Our membership basically fuels the program.
Okay.
Because by giving the donations, that's what fuels the program for us to produce and give away. So
in that sense, it really is a member or
and we are really
driven.
We have no licensing really, because there is no licensing in the Cannabis Act to even give away cannabis or cannabis products. You absolutely just can't. So we're in talks with the province and Health Canada to change that, to try and give us an exemption or give us a program. Or
so you can only buy cannabis as a recreational substance. You can't give it away.
No, and even the medical program, people have to go through such a rigorous thing with their doctor, and they'll sign off. Most people don't.
Yeah, that would be a barrier.
Yeah, it's a massive barrier. So the medical and then when you go to access the program, it's you're still looking at $10 to $15 a gram for that and most people can't afford that much for their medicine. And we believe that it should be something that's a harm reduction tool that should be given out as such, and it should be free to anyone who needs it. And that's what we're fighting. It's the classism part too that really bothers me about the whole marijuana industry as well. Because
what is that? What do you mean by classism?
Oh, that just if you don't have enough money, if you've got enough money to go to a dispensary and pay the top dollar, you can access your medicine. And even it's even a more overarching thing, the whole marijuana industry, and I just cannot believe you can't grow something and donate it. Why can you not? Like if I was a brewer, I could brew beer and give it away on the street if I wanted. Or probably not. Who knows? But
or you could create some type of club where you could give it away.
We're actually trying right
beer
now.
Shops and stuff like that, where you can just go down there and whip up your own beer for
Yeah, exactly. It's a big. I really think, and there's a whole other parts to it too, like the production of it. We'd love to. It's very therapeutic. We basically we're allowed to
actually producing it is therapeutic.
Like the growing of it. Yeah. So we are actually have an exemption. Wrong word. We actually have letters of support from the chief medical officer on the island. We have letters of support from the province. Basically, we've made a deal with the CSU, the policing unit in Victoria.
The CSU stands for
Community Service or Community Safety Unit.
Oh yes, okay, yes.
And
so
the
they
Police,
support it.
Yes, they quietly, they probably wouldn't like being heard say that, but they've just said, they understand what we're doing. They understand we're not trying to be a dispensary. Because we have all harm reduction, the usual condoms, needles.
I'll say the other thing about weed is, like, if you smoke a joint, and it'll slow your use down. It won't stop it completely, but you won't necessarily want to take your next hit. You might wait in a couple more hours or whatever.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I even look at it, like for the people who are on, the meth users, and if you can, that cannabis dose gives them, like you say, a few hours of respite, and they're not breaking into a car that day, or even for just a stopgap measure.
So there's that aspect of harm reduction.
There is that aspect, but we'd really like to be allowed to do our program, because going back to the point where the letters of support. So they basically said, if you produce your own, because originally we started off, we were getting donated material and
Yeah.
gray market material. But so now they basically said, if you produce your own, we will.
That's
let the
an
program-
innovation to say that growing itself and,
Yes.
and caring for it is a form of harm
So,
reduction
yeah.
and therapy.
Yeah, and we use that to hire all peers and people who wouldn't normally be employable in the cannabis industry, because you can't be employed if you have a criminal record or anything. So we use that as an employment model as well, and we're able, with the donations, we were able to pay everyone a living wage of, I don't think anyone makes less than $23 an hour in our.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Not minimum.
No. We wanted the mandate to be
Good wages.
good wages. There's no money
living
left over
wages.
at the end of every payday, but that's the program. We're here. That's what we're trying to do, is turn it into that, and I think that's why they're letting us do it for now. And I'm hoping with groups like this, and the more we get involved, there'll be solidarity, and we'll be able to help more organizations the same way, with the same program we're doing. And then possibly when the authorities do come and say, hey, what is happening here, they'll say, well, we're trying to help all these people, and you can't take this program away. And that will begin the discussion, and that will probably trigger a Supreme Court challenge, I imagine, at some point. And all
I'm
that.
just gonna put in a pitch for the old folks like us. I'm not a spring chicken anymore either, and so I have osteoarthritis and stuff. So I take CBD, and it makes a world of difference, right? I don't have to go to my doc and say, Doc, I need some Tylenol 3s or whatever it is, right? It's like the CBD takes care of it, and it doesn't hurt you like a bunch of Tylenol 3s are gonna, or whatever pharmaceuticals that they happen to offer you.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take your liver out or
Yes, yeah.
any of that. Yeah.
No. And it's non-psychoactive too, so it's there's no
That's right.
effects.
Yeah, that's right. It's not THC.
Yeah. So.
Okay, well, thanks so much. That's so
I know it's a lot to
so
take
much
in.
Food for thought. Yeah.
I know it's a lot to
Yeah,
take in.
yeah.
I'm trying to get better at explaining it in a 5-minute period, but it's just so.
No.
Lots to say.
It does, in fact, I think,
Yeah.
paint a complex landscape.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's a very complex situation, but it's a lot of fun helping people. So.
Thank you, Sean.
All right. Thanks.